How's it going, guys? We're back with some more Skyrim what? Skyrim Papyrus scripting. So I discovered something interesting last night. I was trying to get the absolute value and like trying to use all different functions. I even ended up making my own square root function. And then I realized that I could just, with the help of a friend of course, realized that I could take the negative value and then times it by -1, which will then basically flip it and give us the absolute value. So that's what we're doing now. We got the integer is then, if the integer is less than 0, meaning negative, then the integer is going to be the integer times -1. That'll flip it for us. And then basically I can go through our entire function then. And then we set b is negative to true, and then right at the end we're setting if b is not negative, the negative sign would be blank, otherwise we have a negative sign in front of the, obviously, entire value, the string that we output. So that worked out pretty well, as you can see. Everything worked out as it should be. The only issue we come across is with, I think, when it overflows. So I'm gonna try to figure out where the overflow happens now. Let's try that now. So this is the max. The max integer that can be supported. This is the negative. And then what I'm going to do is try negative that -1. -2 and -10, and see the results that I basically get there. I want to see if I can prevent it from overflowing. Even though I thought the engine would do that itself, it seems that is not the case, unfortunately. Okay, cool. Let's continue. Fair enough. So there's negative 647. There's negative 648. Interestingly, when you continue, you have the exact same value, literally just flipped it over. And it goes from negative to positive again. And then 47. That would be 8. Okay, so we're gonna catch the overflow. And let's just get the maximum that a int32 can be. Is negative 214,748,3648. I think we're going to go ahead and specify the max value and then do nothing further. Let's first see if we can catch it. So we have an if int would it be less than? Ah, and that's why we get an issue. Now I understand. Because there's no counterpart when we're using absolute. Negative 2147483648. The limit is 647 as a positive. So trying to flip 648, obviously we're going to get an error. So even though I could technically go to 648, before we do this, let us try and solve that case. So when we're flipping it, let's get 648. If it is 648, then int we're going to set it to the limit for now. And then we need a so we do b negative int limit is true. Just gonna have to create a boolean for that. So then what we do right at the end, over here, if b negative int limit we're going to say s10s is actually equal to be equal to I10s plus 1. So it can say 648. That should theoretically work, because then we should get negative 648 again. Let's give that a try now. There you go. So negative 250 will return 2147 483648. There we go. So we're returning 648. The only problem is we don't have the negative sign. It should have triggered. I think it's because when you reach that point, it doesn't technically detect less than 0 anymore. So we're gonna say we still need to check for B is negative. But still B is negative, and you've hit the limit. Maybe we should change it to B is negative limit. Sounds better. And then right at the bottom here, so then that should cover that case. So if the integer is exactly 648, let's check the API. It should return negative 648. Cool, so let's go compile the function and the API. I think I'm gonna move this out of. I have to figure out how I'm gonna handle this for future updates. I'm definitely gonna add it into my main toolstead. There we go. So negative 214743647. That's correct. And negative 2500 483647 should return. Wait, hold on. I was sworn we oh, we didn't save the changes. Either way, that should have said negative 483648, and it says 214743648. Brilliant. So you try to give it a higher number, and it's just going to return the max limit. I wonder how it treats negative numbers. Whew! Okay, so that's working. We're getting somewhere, that's brilliant. So we've handled this case. So, I think now. So we know if you take a negative and you go one step further, that's going to be seen as the max limit. Which we can see obviously here. Negative 648. I'm actually curious to see what that will do. Let's go and test that. Then I'll know more or less what happens when you pass the value. And then from there, try to detect them. So we can return an error message. Okay, let's see what we get. So the first instance, when we tried to pass too large a number, we just went to the negative limit. And if you try to pass too large a integer, you'll just get the max integer instead. So it does take that into account. That's a good thing. We of course won't know what the number would have been. All we know is if integer is exactly at the limit, and if the integer is 0, less than 0, then we're obviously flipping it around. Set it to the max int32 instead, and set b is put it correctly. Should be output correctly. So that I could just say so that minus can be added in front of output. We could just do it like that. So now if we have that, I won't need any of this either. Let's just check out checks. If int is less than 100. That's 5,000 to... less than a billion? That's anything from million. $999,999,999. It's amazing how many things I was trying to do here. Oh. So this is 4 billion up until max integer.
attention to all the crazy things that I shouldn't mention. Not really sure. My ears like my feet are glued to the floor. Don't wanna open up my mouth, cause I'm afraid of what's gonna come out. Life is but a dream.
I don't think we need to specify that. Does it counter? Does does not have an absolute counterpart? Oops. The absolute of -2 would be 2. Yeah. Which needs to become negative 246. Remove empty values and separators. The value is less than them. Move 0 values and separators if the value and the threshold. Yes, the threshold. Let's do that. Threshold. Int is less than 100. I'll put the final result. Brilliant. should say store the final result as a group of strings, because that's what you're doing. We're saying S string is that, and then return S string. That should be fine. We don't need to test case these. We're done. Clean this up now. Less than 100. I think this needs to be turned into an else if. It's either at the max, else it's less than 0.
Let's escape the gray and let the colors rain. Turn the shit we do and our words into pure reality. 'Cause you and me are meant to be what they don't see. Never feeling wrong 'cause we don't belong. And getting high in love, we're invincible. Trust in me, we're invincible. Don't you see, we're invincible. We're invincible.
We need it. This. Clean this up though. 1,000 is. Incredible. Cleaned up. Okay, so let's clean this up now, and then we can actually move forward. So we got B's thousands is set to that. Let's output. We don't need to trace that out anymore. We obviously know that the value is correct. Look how much we're going to be getting rid of. Incredible how much we've optimized this code. Wow. It's like almost 100 lines of code. I was like writing stuff due to precision issue. I think of a way to display numbers as 10k, 1 bill. I think that's what we're going to do next. As notation. Up until unprecise point. There is no unprecise point. I just didn't understand what was going on. That's hilarious. You look back and you're like, oh, was I that dumb? Let's remove traces as well. Looking at them. Million, thousand, hundreds, tens. Great. And let's remove comments on the side. We don't. I think that's about it. And then all these traces, debugs. Then obviously once we get to a billion, that, and that, and that. Oh, and then the trace messages as well, huh? Cool. So B is billion true, billions, millions, thousands, hundreds, and tens. Like what? Add fix for potential issue due to the way Bethesda handles float precision. Blaming Bethesda, oh, that's brilliant. And see if I actually do that. So this can all be brought back. I don't know why it's slightly off. And then we should add a comment here stating add unit values to their string counterparts. That makes sense. And then we don't need this hideous if statements anymore. This needs to be all brought in line. Like that. Then we do the check if B is a billion, if millions are less than 100. Fix millions formatting, and this is, well, it's not really fixed because it wasn't broken to begin with. It's like correct millions formatting. And value is a billion. Whoops, billion even. Correct millions formatting when value is a billion. And then correct millions formatting when value is a billion. When value is a billion or million. Man, looking at the word million now, it's starting to seem weird. Do you guys ever have that when you look at a word and you look at it for too long and it's like, this doesn't make sense. Million looks freaking weird. Like, is that even a word? Mill? Ian? Bill? Ian? Who's Bill and who's Mill? Oh god. Anyway, so if B is billion or B is million, then thousands. Correct. That's not millions. Correct thousands formatting. And then the last one is correct tens formatting when value is a billion, million, or billion, million, thousand, or hundred. Brilliant. And hello to you people that are watching. You can feel free to drop by, say hi, ask your questions, or even just talk about the weather. Anything will help keep the monotony down of this code. Correct tens formatting when values 1,400. Billion B's, 1,000 B. Right. What is right? And then I10 is less than 10, i.e. for 100, then tens. Wait, do I need B's billion? What if if the value was 100? Oh, right. Because then we wouldn't be triggered. Unless I added, oh, okay, yeah, no, never mind. It has to be this way, unfortunately, because hundreds are used in, well, tens are used in all of these, just as thousands are used, and millions are used. That. Hey Quentin, I've seen you around before, haven't I? Welcome to the stream again. Basically what I've been working on this whole time is creating a function that will take an integer value and then spit it out in pretty print format. So you know how integers obviously don't have these commas in them to format them. So 1 billion would basically look like this, right? But it's obviously hard to read, so I wanted to make a function that will add those commas, and that's basically what I did. So you can insert 1 billion. Here's actually the output here on the side. It's a bit bad, but for example here, should return 48000008, and it returns 48000008, and all I put in was 48000008. So that's what this function is basically doing. I'm wondering if I want the white space. Okay, so I think got that now. So I was just trying to figure out if I want to keep these white spaces or not for code readability. I mean, obviously grouping them all together here as variables makes sense. Then I had a space here because now I'm assigning certain variables values. Then the next part is the block where we're checking for negative values, where I would have separated it like this. I'm wondering if I should do that now. Breakdown. Whoops, I said into twice. Break down the input value into unit values. There we go, that makes a bit more sense. And we've wrapped these all in parentheses, and then we're dividing afterwards so that it cleans code. You can group these together. They're pretty much doing the same thing. Handle special cases for negative values. Actually, that's not really should be in its own thing. Cool. So that's our function pretty much. Quite a big function. but I don't think you can get away with smaller function. Let's just compile it, make sure it works, and then let's go take it for a test drive. Make sure that it's actually doing what it should be doing still. And break something along. Cool. So let's see how that turned out for us. Here's our test case. Should return 3, we get 3. Should return 17, 17, 25 is 25, 800 is 800, 1000 is 1000, 1001, 1010, 1103, 9050, 10,000 becomes 10,000, 17,003 is 17,003, 23, 300 is 23. Let's go. 901, 999, 008, 040, 100. Yeah, this seems to be pretty much correct. And then billions, obviously. This is correct. This is correct. The reason, if you're wondering why they look exactly the same, because obviously this is a string value. I wrote this as a string, and our input was an integer that ended up looking like this initially. Whoops. So obviously you want to turn that number into this. Let me zoom in. So if you can see that. And that's exactly what it's done. So that's brilliant. Working exactly as it should. I'm gonna correct that. All that now. Have you created any mods, Quentin? Are you in the process of like learning to hopefully create your own? Alright, here we're adding negative values as well. So as you can see, 0 should return 0, negative 3 is negative 3, negative 17, negative 800, negative 10. So basically the same as above. All we did is flip the values around and add a negative sign in front of it if it's a negative value. So it may seem like pointless or whatever putting the effort in, but it's taught me like a great deal, and any mod authors will be able to use this function if they wanted to. I'm obviously going to use it for my mods because I have an experience mod that I have an experience mod that handles numbers, and that's exactly what I needed to do, is print it out in a pretty version. Because right now I'm just printing it out as an integer value. When I get back in the game I'll show you what I mean. But it would say you've earned 1, and you don't even know what that number is because it's such a big number. So I'm happy with that, it works. Things to add. What else do we need to add? Ability to return specific parts of a value, i.e. billions or hundreds, etc. Just billions or hundreds. What else? We call that notation KB. Oh, it's called, is it engineering notation? And could you say you've been working on a personal mod? Okay. What's it about, if you don't mind me asking?
Can you hear my heartbeat calling? Can you feel the love we're falling? Just take my hand and take me home tonight. Throwing caution to the wind. I'll take a chance and let you in. Just take my hand and take me home tonight. We defeat all impossibilities. Yeah, you and me. We'll take our hearts and run free into the wild. Into the
Okay, that's cool. That's quite advanced, Quentin. Nice. Yeah, I wouldn't know anything when it comes to that. I'm not really clued up to weather and how weather should look and what looks good. So it's good to have someone like more artistic in the community. But that's pretty exciting. If you ever have any questions or stuff, you must feel free to ask. I'm trying to figure out now what you call the K and the M and stuff in numbers. You know, like 1000 can be written as 1K, but what do you call that notation? It's not Roman numerals, it's like a metric system almost. It's an informal abbreviation. It's apparently pseudometric. I don't want to get the wrong term for this. Yeah, because I mean you have the metric abbreviations like milligram is mg and milliliters ml. And I mean 1,000 is a metric measurement, isn't it? Or metric unit. Don't worry, it's out of my league a long time ago. The thing is, I know what I want to do, I just don't know the name for it, as with a lot of things. So I would end up writing something else, and then it ends up not being that. Initially I had something like freaking, what was it? Cardinal number or something. Where I assumed that that's what it was called. Where cardinal numbers are like something completely different. It's good you're using your brain more than it should. That's a good thing at least, I guess. Either way, let's figure out the name afterwards. Let's just cheat it out and say something like add ability to format value as 1k, 100 mil, 2 bill, etc. Okay, so doing some research on this, apparently it's something international system of units. Ability to format value. Okay, what else do we need to add to this function? Add error handling for invalid input. Because someone could pass the wrong thing, obviously. Oh, it's apparently an SI prefix. Whatever SI is. The hell is SI? Scientific something, I guess. What is SI? A metric prefix. That's what it is. A metric prefix is a unit prefix that precedes a basic unit of measure to indicate a multiple or fraction. So that's what it is, a metric prefix. Okay. And we got a base 10 value and what. Ah, can you believe it was only until 1873, almost 100 years later, since the tens were adopted, that they had a million? I guess they never really had a use for it. And only in 1960 did we start using a billion, and shortly thereafter a trillion, and about 15 years later quadrillion and quintillion. That's crazy. Obviously as computation and that grew, so did the numbers. And I mean now you have like crazy numbers. Yeah. And quadrillion only came about in 1991. Ah, and there's English words for it. There is apparently short scale and long scale, and that used to always confuse the hell out of me. There are countries that use different versions. Like I remember Germany uses the long scale, where a billion is not actually a billion. And that blew my mind. Or it's like we have 12 decimals in a billion, whereas the Germans have 18 decimals. Decimals, sorry. So we would say a billion in short scale, but in long scale it's a milliard. And then we have a trillion, whereas their long scale is a billion. And we have a quadrillion, and theirs is a billiard. And a quintillion is a trillion. Yeah. It's just a whole bunch of numbers to me. And then we have fractions, tenth, hundredth, thousandth, millionth, billionth, trillionth, etc, etc. But anyway, we figured out what it is. It's a... I still don't know what SI is. SI prefix. What is an SI? Oh, for the International System of Units. SI. International System of Units is abbreviated as SI? How does that even make sense? How's that an abbreviation? So the International System of Units is the modern form of the metric system. Oh, it's because of the French. So because of the French, the International System of Units abbreviated SI for Système International, which makes sense, the international system. So the French created it? Oh god. Hey Cat Boots, how's it going? Welcome by. This is going to be a little bit different to the other stream that I did. This is where I do some coding and whatnot. I actually have a question for you guys. Now that I have two of you here, there's not many often that drop by when I code. Do you guys think that I should create a separate channel for when I actually do my coding? Because I know like a lot of people who end up subscribing to me do so because of my gameplay videos. But I end up coding a lot more. And I obviously don't want them to lose interest because they get a notification that I'm live. But I'm not playing a game, I'm actually, you know, modding for a game. Do you guys think I should like combine that because it is gaming related? Or should I have like a completely separate channel where I stream to that channel when I'm coding, and when I'm gaming I stream to the gaming stream channel, if that makes sense? suffix. Separate, okay. And then, obviously, because it's coding related. That's a good idea, okay, yeah. When I get the chance during the weekend, I'll see about splitting the channel off so that... I'll look at the pros and cons, obviously. And then, obviously, when I am live streaming my modding, people are interested in the gaming. I'll have a link for them to reach out to my gaming channel instead. I just don't want to clutter up, you know, my channel, and then 80% of my content right now ends up being programming, and then people are like, but where are the games? We want to see your gameplay. Speaking of which, in 4 hours, I think there's a countdown timer on my Twitch channel. In 4 hours, I'm going to be live streaming Freak Out Friday. So that's going to be pretty insane. I've got a really awesome horror game lined up. So Cat Boots, I know you came for the gameplay, and if you're interested in gameplay, my next schedule is the same time as last time, 7 PM GMT +2. There should be a countdown timer on my Twitch channel. Okay, so it is a prefix. That we know. But now do we go with metric, decimal, or SI prefix? SI sounds cool, but I'm probably going to confuse people as much as I was confused by it. Yeah, I plan to actually do tutorials for Skyrim and modding. When I'm done with the stuff that I want to do, then I want to break down segments so that I can actually have easy to watch tutorials. Because obviously I've been modding for about 2 years now, and everything is self-taught. I mean, it's not like you could go to university and be taught on how to use Skyrim and the Papyrus language and whatnot. So I feel I can make a lot of good tutorials. It's a lot of trial and error, that's all I can say. And just don't give up. Like, you should have seen what a mess this function was up until... I don't know if you saw me cleaning up the code. There was just a lot of, like, mess. And basically, you're not going to believe me. So there's a lot of stuff happening here, right? Like, a lot. But this entire function... in how it outputs a number is literally, what's this, about 50 lines of code, and it can handle any number from negative 2,143,000,000, basically the max negative integer 32 value, the minimum and the maximum. So any negative number up to the limit and any positive number up to the limit this function can handle, and literally in just 50 lines of codes it does that. I used a combination of modulo, which basically you divide two numbers and you get the remainder. So for example, if I had 1,000 and I said 1,000 modulo 100, right? That would give me how many tens they are, because 100 obviously doesn't fall into, how do I say, 1,000. Whereas if I did 1,000 modulo 1,000, I should probably just write it out so it makes more sense. So if I take 1,000 modulo 1,000, right, that will leave a remainder of 0 because you're trying to get 1,000 into 1,000, right? Whereas if I had a 3,000 modulo 1,000, again, the remainder would be 0 because we have 3,000. We need to get the 1,000 in how many times, right? So 1,000 can go in there 3 times, we're left with 0. What if you flipped it around and you had 1,000 as your value, but the modulo you set was 3,000? You're going to be left with 3,000. So you can see how this comes in handy, where, again, using our case here with the 1,000, let's say I had 1,110 modulo 100, right? What do you think ends up happening with that format? We're counting every 100. And since there's technically 11 hundreds, because it's 1,100, right? The last bit that can't go in is going to be this 10. So our remainder is 10. That is how I managed to get tens out. And for thousands, you obviously just take the 1,000 divided by 1,000 to get the amount of thousands. So that was pretty useful and handy. I'm really proud of that. Okay, so let me just get my code back to where it was. That's too small. Is that where it was? Whoa, that's tiny. I don't even know what the default zoom is anymore. I'm so confused. I don't know what the default zoom is anymore. Oh no! I think it's this. Anyway, I can read it. That's all that matters. But you're that messed my eyes up so bad now. Okay, so what we need to do now, I want to be able to split a value in the SI prefix. So 1,000 needs to be 1K. So we need new booleans. Bool, B, use, SI, prefix. And that's obviously going to be what we're checking out. So when this is done, I don't think we should mess with this. I think we should leave that as is. And before it does the corrections, I think, we're going to add a section here. If B use SI prefix. Okay, so now this is specific to if you pass that parameter. So now we should take our thousands. What we should do is check the value. If I integer is less than 999,999, sorry, if less than a million, does that store 1,000? Thousands rather. So that means anything from, well, we're gonna have to add another check, but it'll be anything from 1K to 999K. So now that we know that, we're gonna take our thousands, and the string S thousands is I thousands plus K. We're adding a K after that number. So it will be 1000 plus a K, so it's 1K, 2K, etc. And then we need to make sure that the other ones are blank. So the hundreds need to be blank, and the tens need to be blank as well. Otherwise we're gonna get 1K and whatever the hundreds and tens are. We're just interested with the thousands. Cat boots, I'm doing really well. It's a good day, it's Friday. I was like super stressed out yesterday because of all the maths that I've been doing in this this function that I've been working on, but otherwise doing well. I'm excited for later on. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a horror stream every Friday on my horror streams, and I'm really looking forward to that. How about yourself? How are things with you? What's new? That's awesome, Cat Boots. Where are you from? Is it still daytime? Still starting for you? It's near mid-afternoon for us here in sunny South Africa. It's 20 past 3. And Quentin, I haven't asked, where are you from? Okay, so you're just an hour behind. Interesting. Missouri, US. Wow, Quentin. That's awesome. So that puts you... Huh. Missouri. That's about what, like 6, 7 in the morning for you? And Cat Boots, I'm guessing you're somewhere in Europe? Wouldn't that be like the UK? Now I got a really awesome friend there, and I know she's an hour behind. Yeah, that's what's so crazy, because of how large your landmass is in the US. Like your furthest point can be like, what, 4 in the morning, and your other extreme point, like near St. John's or something, can be like 11 in the morning. Okay, so you're in the UK, Cat Boots. That's awesome. Okay, so is there a better way to write this? We only want the value if it's 1,000 or higher and less than 1,000,000. I guess we have to do it this way. You try to catch people close to your time, but sometimes people are 4 hours ahead or behind. You mean streamers, Catboot? And then for thousands plus A. Okay. Well, if you're interested, like I said, tonight, I don't know if you can see the countdown on my stream. It should be at 8... Wait, you're an hour behind me. 6 PM your time. I'm going to be having my Freak Out Friday session. So if you'd like to join, you're more than welcome to. More the merrier. Can always use the support because those games are... yeah. Hate them, but I love them. Okay, so I think the text is a bit small, yeah. I still need to figure out how I'm gonna get around that. I think a lot of people who watch gamers generally watch on their phones, and if people are actually watching like programming and stuff, they are more likely to be on the computer trying to follow along. So I think it's another good reason why I would split the channel. Because now, I mean, I can make the text bigger. I can make the text bigger now, but then obviously it makes it a bit hard for me to work with, because like I'm literally, I can't see the majority of my code. I mean, I'll do that for now, so at least you can follow along what I'm doing. And what we're trying to do is get our output. So we're going to add a stream. We'll probably be close to morning in your time, Quinton. That's crazy. Isn't it morning now? How's it going to be morning again for you? If it's... You said it was 6? Your time? The time in Missouri now is what, 8 in the morning? Wait, can you actually see the coding text? So if I have it this size, can you actually see? Like everything, or do you have to struggle a bit? Because I know I checked on my phone, it was a little bit small. Depends, I guess, on what phone you have on that. And you say the countdown timer is a bit small. Oh, that's strange. Yeah, I mean, it is a widget, but I guess it's built more again for PC. But it's gonna be 6 PM your time, if that makes a difference. And I mean, if you have me followed, you'll get a notification as well. Okay, so let's get to this. I'm gonna add an if statement. So if we are using the prefix, we're gonna do this. Else, we are gonna be doing this. So this allows us to then basically say, hey, the string is the negative sign plus wait, is it any different then? Because we can literally keep it as is. We don't need another if. Maybe we'll figure out a better way to do this some other time, but for now, it seems we can get away with doing it like this. So let's test it out. So we're going to say thousands is thousands plus k. But now how do we deal with the hundreds and the tens? That was the issue. That's where we're going to have to say s hundreds is blank and s tens is blank. And we're also going to have to deal with the separators as well. Because thousands are here, so we need to take care of the thousand separator. Thousand separator needs to be blank, and we don't have hundred separator, so it's just that. Yeah, it'll be afternoon your time. So, what? It's 8 o'clock now. In 4 hours, I'll be streaming. Less than 4 hours. 5, 6, 7. That's 3.5 hours from now. It'll be 12 o'clock your time, Quentin. So literally just afternoon. It's good to know. So literally 7 hours. You're 7 hours behind. So my streams always start at 12 PM your time. On a Wednesday, I do Whiplash Wednesdays, and on a Friday, I do Freakout Friday. Those are only 2 real times I stream, and then I randomly may stream in between. But when Fallout 76 releases, that's pretty much what I'm going to be playing all the time. I'm still going to keep Freakout Friday, because that's kind of a theme, but every other day is going to be Fallout 76. So hopefully people who like Fallout 76 will drop by. How many things am I streaming to? Right now it's just YouTube and Mixer. So Quentin obviously is on YouTube. And you should be able to see his messages on the stream. On the chat bottom right? I think it does display. Okay, cool, awesome. So let's move on with this then, shall we? So if we're saying we're going to use the SI prefix, scientific, what? International. Scientifique International, we're going to be French. The scientific units. No, it was a system. Système International, the international system of units. So SI prefix, if the integer is greater than 1000 or equal to 1000, so 1k to 999k, then thousands is going to be thousands plus k, thousand separator is going to be blank, hundreds is going to be blank, and tens are going to be blank. See now, catbots. Catboot. Love the username. Oh, we can actually remove the separators in here and not have it part of that if loop. SI prefix, yeah, likewise. So the old metric system is kind of old, so they made a new system which is called the International System of Units. The abbreviation would be ISU, but I guess because it was created by the French or something happened there with the French, it took the form of SI, which kind of sounds cool. Don't confuse it with silicone though, because that's what I thought initially. I was like, what? SI? That's silicone. We're using silicone now? Okay, what now? That should be it. I think we're ready to test. So now, welcome back, Cat Boots. You're just in time for us to test. We're gonna now add a test case. Should return 1k. And we're gonna insert pretty print integer. We're gonna insert 1000. And true. And the reason we're adding a true there is because we are now going to add a parameter to this function, which is going to be called b use si prefix, and we're going to set it by default to false, meaning it's optional. So you'd have to specifically pass true to use it. Looks like sip prefix. Okay, so we're gonna try with 1000, and we're gonna try with, let's try and trip it up, 53,000, and let's try 982,642, and this should return 53k, this should return 982k. Let's go and compile that real quick. No viable alternative at line 164, there's an error. 164. Oh, I didn't specify this is a boolean. There we go. Compile that. Oh, and I don't have to specify it here, obviously. Part of the parameter. There we go. And the API needs to be updated. There we go. Now we should be able to jump into the game and test the output, and hopefully we get what we needed. The next step, I don't think I'm going to do it today, is getting decimals out of the format. So you know how you could have 1100, but that's only going to be output as 1k because it's 1000. So the next step is adding the hundredths place. So it would be 1, then dot, then 1. Luckily we're not going to use math for that. We've already done all the math, so we're literally just moving our hundreds, thousands, whatever units. Because we split them up now. This is the beauty of it, so we just need to put them where we want them to be. Okay, that should be enough. I should be able to go out and look at our debug. And here we go, it actually worked. So it should return 1k. We got 1k, but a small k. Did I make it a small k? Is that my fault? No. I've had this issue before where the game does this. For some reason it makes the... Oh, good point. I actually need to update that poll. Red Faction 2 is there, which I still need to play at some point. Yes! Red Faction 2! Have you played Red Faction 2, Cat Boots? Maybe it's a setting in your PC that's bringing it to lowercase? Not from what I'm aware, because obviously you can see there, when I print out the string, that 1k, that k is capital. I've had this issue specifically where you combine a number unless... hold on. When you were a young lad, Red Faction 1, Red Faction 2. And when you were older, Red Faction Gorilla, Red Faction Armageddon. Okay. Yeah, I remember trying Red Faction Gorilla out for a very brief moment. I loved the fact that you could actually go around and like interact with the communities and that. I didn't get far at all, I don't remember nothing, and now that they made a remake, it's going to be incredible. I just hope I can get to it before Fallout 76 comes out. So I think next Wednesday I'll do Red Faction 2. And then I'll be able to do Gorilla. I'm going to skip Armageddon. As in I'll do Gorilla first, but the remake of it. Which should be in canon. theoretically correct, even though Gorilla is going to look better than Armageddon. Maybe we should output it like this. Thousands in brackets plus K. Maybe that'll work. Let's try that. I just want to correct that first before I move on. Because while it's not a big deal, the K should be capital. Okay. Overwatch, yeah, no, I tend to stay away from like the mainstream games. Like for me the issue is I like to finish things, complete things, and the problem with those games is it never ends. You can play forever, and I kind of got sucked into that back in 2012, 2013 when Dota 2 came out, and I played that for thousands of hours, and I was sad because then I look back at my library and I would not play anything, and it's just like, what was the point? Where are you really getting? Like, are you even making progress? I didn't feel like I finished it, you know what I mean? Because you can't finish it. And so I kind of like now stick to games that I can finish and can play, and that's kind of why I do the stream, as kind of a motivation to myself to like finish my games and kind of interact with other people as well. Fallout 76 is going to be a bit different. It's not going to be as heavy as obviously match-based games, but Fallout 76 is going to be long. I'm pretty sure it can be completed. It's going to be kind of like an MMO, so you'll complete it when you feel you're done, like when you got all the equipment and you've explored everything and you've basically done everything. Whereas with Fortnite you can't. Like, how do you say you've completed Fortnite? After one match you're done, you know? So yeah, that's the only game I'm going to play that's going to be repetitive, but like I said, hopefully that attracts the Fallout fans, because Fallout is very close to my heart, and to me it's one of the best RPGs, and because it's post-apocalyptic, which is yet another genre that I love, it's what makes it that much more incredible for me. So yeah, Fallout 1, Fallout 2, Fallout Tactics, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, and now Fallout 76. It's just gonna be, it's gonna be incredible. And like, I'm still wondering if I'm gonna have time to play Fallout 4, because I haven't played Fallout 4. I haven't played Fallout 4 at all. And I still plan to play it, but now I'm worried if it's going to be too similar to Fallout 76, and also will I have enough time, because I don't want to rush it. Like, I will mod the game slightly, and then I play hundreds of hours. I remember when I played Skyrim, I got close to 2,000 hours. And if I'm being realistic, let's say I give it 700 hours, realistically, right? And I can play, what, 3-4 hours a day, 5 days a week. 700 divided by 5 hours divided by 5, it would take me 28 weeks to finish Fallout 4. Is my maths right? 4 hours a day times 5 days in a week, that's 20 hours a week. Times 4, that's 80 hours a month. 28 weeks. Divided by 4 for months. It'll take me 7 months. What? That sounds wrong. Is that possible? Is that how long I played for? Let's up it a bit. What if I played for 6 hours a day? 5 days a week. That's 30 hours. In a month, that's 120 hours. So I could do 120 hours without pushing myself. Let's see how long Fallout 4 is to complete. What? Oh, that was just a DLC. I was like 17 hours. I was like, what? That's just for the one DLC. So to complete the single player as a completionist, which I feel I am, 280 people took 91 hours, roughly. The median is 144 hours. At leisure, it took some people 300 hours. So let's say we averaged at 300 hours to complete everything in Fallout 4. 300 hours divided by 6 hours a day divided by a week. It will take me 10 weeks. That's better, 2 months. But 10 months, Fallout 76 will be released by then. Sorry, 10 months, I meant 2 months. Fallout 76 would have been released by then, and I would have been playing the beta, which is happening in less than in 2 weeks. The beta is happening, I think. So sadly, I'm not going to have enough time. And now I don't know if I've completely shot myself in the foot for Fallout 4. Because Fallout 76 is very similar, but it's obviously not going to have that story and everything. So all I'm hoping is that one day I can go back to Fallout 4. And the beauty of that is how many mods are going to be released by then. Anyway, let's check our debug log. Did I fix the issue now? I have not. You excited for Fallout 76? That's awesome. You're another fan. Yeah, we haven't solved this K issue out. What if we do plus equal to K? Like literally just do that. That apparently worked. Now let's go test if it actually fixed anything. Ah, damn it. Why must this K be small? Okay, I think I have another way around this. I just realized something now, I'm being a bit silly. What if I made a prefix, right? I call it string S thousand prefix. And then I set S1000 prefix to K. Now if I'm not combining them, I think it should be fine. We're gonna see now. Yeah, let's try that out. I'm trying like literally everything that I know. I'm positive we're gonna sort it out. Now, does this work? Yes, no. No! Does it hate me or something? Okay. The last thing that I can try is two things. One, let's trace it. Trace S1000 prefix just to see if it actually will output it fine. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the prefix to thousands right over there. And let's see what that gives us. And if not, then we're going to have to accept the lowercase k. But something tells me that it would be lowercase anyway. Because k is kilo. But then you get mega and giga. What happened to million? Prefix for million. Okay, let's check now. Yeah, we're getting small K's everywhere. And when I call it, I get a small K as well. Is this to track how far you're in Skyrim? What do you mean, Kaput? This is, I'm creating a function where you can give it a number and it will output the number in a easy to read format. How is this possible, guys? We have a string and we started with a K, and that's a capital K, that's not a small k. So when I trace that K, why would it spit out small k? Is it because it's a single letter, and because it's a single letter it becomes lowercase? Maybe K is something in the game, and it turns it out into that. You thought I was tracking how far you walk in Skyrim. I mean, I could do that. I set up a function for that previously, but what would be the point of that? To hatch something. Let's add Pokemon in the game. And depending on how far you've walked. God, that'll be crazy, yeah? 1k is actually lowercase. Is 1k lowercase? Oh, so you don't write 1k with a capital K? I thought you do. Don't you use capitals? Like trillions are capitals, and billions and millions are. You think it's just for that? Million prefix should be M. Let's hope it makes a capital M, because that's not going to make sense. And a billion is B, and a trillion is T. Let's see what happens there, shall we? Else, this is not going to work, and I'm going to be a sad panda. Okay, cool. That sounds awesome, Cat Boots. Hope you guys have an epic time. I know if it was me, I would take my phone with to play Pokemon while I'm there. Well, I'm guessing you don't really play Pokemon now. So have a great time, and hopefully see you around the stream, which should be in the next 3 hours from now. Have an awesome one, and thanks for dropping by. Keep well, Cat Boots. We'll see you later. What? So K is small, but M and B are big, and T is small. Oh, the inconsistencies. Why would T be small? I'm pretty sure it's because the game uses these for something. Why would T be small? That's an issue, because you can't have them two lowercase and then uppercase M and B. So we're gonna have to maybe prefix it by 2. And a lot of people don't think of K as kilo. They just think of K as, you know, 1,000. So if I say 1,000 KI, it's gonna be like, what the hell is KI? And MI and BI. This ruins it for me somewhat, because I need the K to be capital. And having it lowercase is going to mean something else. How do we work around this? K comes out as lowercase k. If I put a space, let's try putting a space in front of it. That's the only thing I can think of. I'm pretty sure if we have another, like, character in there, but what could we have? And we can't have a hyphen. 1 hyphen K. It looks weird. Damn you, Papyrus. I think Bethesda uses it for something as a default. Well, I wonder if it's because of, you know, the enumerators. So like I, J, K, L are the 4 standard ones that you'd use for integers to like loop through and whatever. So maybe that's why, for the K part. But then what would T be? T for time? I know in maths and that, you have T is usually time. So maybe that's what's happening. But M would be mass. But isn't M written as a capital M then for mass? No, mass is... Sure, we'll figure it out. Let's see how this goes. Adding a space to capitalize it. Yes! So adding a space capitalizes it. But now we have the problem where it's obviously not together, which defeats the purpose. T wasn't capital. T was lowercase. We need the number to be inserted here. Comma. Yeah, but if I put a comma, it's gonna look weird. Then you're gonna have 1K, like that. Let's see, does it look bad if it's like 1K? 1K, 1 mil. How would you write 1 mil? I'm used to just capitalizing everything. But if we go all lowercase, 1 bill, 1 trill. Versus 1 trill. And then 2 to looting. So which would you choose? I mean, I like the capital one, obviously. I'm sure it's a mathematical mathematical reason. What solution do we have to this problem now? so annoying. The K is being reserved for something. You can't say 100, that looks wrong. There's literally nothing you can put that's gonna make it look any worse. You know what I mean? Less. Which we did that before. We add. Let's try int plus a like that. Just want to try something. Might have a workaround. That's what I'm saying. Wait, why close it cap on your code, but then lowercase in the finish? Why close it capital on your code? Wait, huh? I'm a bit lost there. Oh, why does it capitalize on my code, but then yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's some kind of, it's internal. Something to do with the game engine. Because obviously when I added a space before the K, then it went capital. But I'm going to try something else now. See if this will work. It is confusing. Congrats on leveling up though. Bethesda's fault. Yeah, I blamed them last time when it actually didn't end up being them. Okay, let's see now. I know I broke something, so don't worry about this output. Nope, that way is still lowercase k. And the problem with this K, isn't 53,000 K like a temperature color that you could set your monitor to? Man, what do we do now? Our choices are we deal with it all being lowercase, or like I don't know. Hmm. Lowercase at all, because it won't look right. Won't look right? Yeah, I guess just leave them lowercase till I figure it out, eh? It's so sad. It's probably simple. Yeah, I guess. Probably is something so simple. Good news is we found a more simplistic way to output it at least. Billions. Oopsie. I was trying to put it there. There. Let's empty up all the separators because we're not going to be using separators. We're going to be using prefixes. Then we check the value. And we do another if. And if it's greater than, what's that, 1,000,000? 1, 2, 3. And integer is less than 1,000,000,000. Then 1 mil to 999 mil, which is S thousands, is blank. So then we just need to add a prefix in front of millions? No? After millions. So after millions we need a prefix. Prefix. Over there. Millions prefix. And billions. Billions prefix, millions prefix, thousands prefix. Millions prefix should be blank here, and billions should be blank. You're welcome, Quentin. And thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I hope you managed to learn a few things. And I hope everything goes well for you. If you get a chance and you pop by for the horror stream later, that would be awesome. You must keep well and have an awesome one. Cool. So that should work for us. So let's try, we want 9 million. That's 9 million. $82, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need $1 billion. Try for 6 bill. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, and only go up to 2 billion. Forgot about that. Let's try for 916 million. And compile the API. Let's give it a try. Okay, hopefully this passes our tests. Flying colors. Oh, what the BMK? What? Okay, so we got to sort out the negatives. But other than that, we're getting 9 mil, 82 mil, 916 mil, and 2 billion. Nice. 1K, 53K, 982K, 9 mil, 82 mil, 906 mil, and 2 billion. Lovely. Awesome. It's working as it should, except for the negatives. Like, what is even going on right there? But I'm sure we'll sort it out. We'll make a plan. Fix it up. I'm gonna end things here for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm really excited. We're getting quite far with our function. It's going well. I'm really happy. I'll pop by for the next one. And don't forget that in less than 3 hours we're gonna have Freak Out Friday. If you could pop by and check that out, it'd be awesome having you. Alright, bye for now.